I have the Matrix.
You got the touch.
Well, that wasn't much of an upgrade, now was it? All right, well now we're in the Air Force side. Let's start with infantry. Why infantry? Because it's mostly going to be bold, and it'll be easy to kind of get this started. And let's actually start for a change on the Decepticon side. Infantry Raider, solid orange and green. I don't know why the green wasn't on there. Here we go. You put on a Decepticon helicopter, plane, or seeker only. Autobots, put on an Autobot helicopter or plane only. These are the only flying traits that I could find. The seeker, okay, going back to Decepticons, the planes point up, the seekers point down. Bold 1, +1 to attack. Both are common. So there's that in solid orange, solid green. Let's look at, so you're going to be able to get both of those. So you can get this started on the front. Go to the sergeant side. And you don't see where I've done this verbatim, but these are almost exactly the same for the most part. Still both common. They're both common. They're both solid orange. +1 to defense. Stack on the Raider or private only. Bold 1, and then when you put this on a ranged character, do 1 damage to a 6-star or less enemy. That's pretty specific because we're only 2 rankings in. So I didn't, and this is the only possibility of non-attack damage from the infantry units. Okay, so let's move on. Up next is infantry captain, and almost this, well, pretty much the Air Force infantry. This is about the only time where both of these cards are they're identical. They're identical, whether you're playing Autobots or Decepticons. The only thing different are the traits for some of the pips. Now, my Air Force cards all have orange, so the infantry is orange. That's why these are not hybrid pip cards. Based on my qualifications and my chart and everything, these do happen to be solid orange. They're not hybrid cards. So there's that. And I thought without the hybridosity, that's not a word. Since they're not all hybrids here, I kind of kept these pretty plain Jane and pretty much exact for both factions. Uncommon, +1 to attack. Stack on the Air Force infantry sergeant only. For both factions, the equipped character has the leader trait. Now, again, the difference here is the only difference, the only thing that can stand in my way, is the helicopter is on the orange trait for the Decepticons, and the plane trait are the only characters that can get the orange pip on the flip for attack for the Autobots. So let's move up to the major. Now, if you have been noticing, if I feel like I have the space to write out major, captain, general, and I put on the stack ability here. It's not really an ability. It's a command, more a command than ability. Stack on the previous. I'm going to put it verbatim. I'm going to, if I wrote out captain all the way for a previous card, I'm going to write out captain all the way on the stack on. If I abbreviated it MAJ or CAP''T, I'm going to write that on the stack every time to ensure you aren't confused and ensure that you're like, well, this is wrong. I can't stack this on that. It's not the exact same word because I'm OCD. So and I'm not poking fun at, well, I guess I kind of am, because I am OCD to some extent too. There's some pictures on the wall that are really getting on my nerves right now, but as they're not straight. But so I'm just trying to keep up with that, so everything matches up fairly well. And again, major, nothing exciting here. Bold 1 +1 health. You get this far. Orange pip for the Decepticons is the Seeker. Orange pip for the Autobots is the Helicopter. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, because the Autobots only have 2 traits for air. The Decepticons have 3, and I had to make up for that. So there's that. Not really, but I didn't go any further than just the 2 traits. I didn't add the airplane trait on the Sergeant or anything like that. So here we are. Let's keep moving. So the Major is pretty plain. The General is actually the Air Force Infantry. When you're able to get all 5 cards on either faction, you know, +2, +2, +2 along the bottom for your stats. And now for Decepticons, the Seekers. When a Seeker, you control. I haven't created any Seekers. There's no official Seekers in the game. You're going to have to mix it up with the other unofficial guys that are doing some great work to be able to get Seekers on your team. Roll a 1 to 6 when they defend. 1 to 3, tough 2. 4 to 6, tough 3. You're welcome. And because this is 50-50, because you have to get all these 5 cards on top of ranks on top of one character, I'm not asking you to scrap this. I'm not making this a star count, a star or anything. Both of the general cards are solid green, solid orange. There's that. Air Force Infantry Major, Air Force Infantry Major, stack, Seeker. So the Decepticons are only going to be able to give defending Seekers the role to get additional tough. They're going to have the Seeker trait, so they're going to have to be in their alt modes. I have not made any base cards that gives the Seeker trait to anybody. I've given it the plain trait to characters in their bot modes if a certain base card is in play. So, but not the Seeker trait. For the Autobots, it's the plain. Each plane you control defends. Roll 1 to 6 or 6-sided die. It means the same thing. If a 1 to 3 is rolled, tough 2. 4 to 6, tough 3. Same thing. +1 health, +1 defense. Exact same here. And there's let's see here. Let's do this. And the green pips have the leader trait. So you can still get them on the flip, but having leaders on your team is going to help, whether they already have the leader trait. Maybe they happen to have a non-leader character equipped with my floating throne to give them the leader trait, or you already have them up to a captain, giving them the leader trait to help get the general card on the flip. Fun stuff. Fun technical stuff. It can work. It may not always work. What's the probability of this? I don't know. Print them out. Have fun. I know this is a lot of cards, and it would be expensive to print all this. But here we go. And so one more left, and that is the Air Force Infantry Specialist for the Autobots, which is also solid orange and solid green. Stack on the Air Force Infantry Sergeant only. Bold 1. When you put this on a specialist, this is one-time put. Reveal the top card of your deck. If it has at least a blue pip, you may play it, which means it can be an action or an upgrade. So, boom. If you do get up to the specialist, you cannot put anything else on top of it. A ranking upgrade cannot be stacked on this. So it's kind of squished. And I've actually considered not putting anything on here, but I'm going to squish it in here anyway, because it might be necessary, because you're like, well, I got the sergeant on here and I can put the captain on top of the sergeant. But no, you're putting it on top, stacking it on top of the specialist, and the captain can only be put on top of the sergeant, not the specialist. Even though they're all in the same slot, they're still their separate upgrades with their separate titles. And because of that, I feel the need to actually put this in here. Ranking upgrade cannot be stacked on this. So someone isn't trying to take advantage of this system. And go, well, it doesn't say. Well, just because it doesn't say doesn't mean you can. But as far as textual legalities of a TCG or CCG, I understand, and that's why I'm putting a ranking upgrade cannot be stacked on this for all these specialist cards, and it's a pain, let me tell you. So I think that covers it. So we are now done with the Air Force Infantry. Still a lot to go over. We're in the depths of this. We're in the weeds. We're just getting started real good. Well, let me know if you see any errors or any necessary changes that might need to be made on these. If I missed a common, uncommon, rare, or etc., etc. We'll see you next time. As always, throw scraplets at the like button. And as always, Autobots, flip out and let's... well, let's roll.